Hey, the front page of this morning's New York Times says that U.S. math tests find slim gains across New York, according to federal test scores released yesterday. However, it's not all bad news. For example, 100% of the 8th graders at New York City's Harlem Village academies are proficient in their math skills. That's where I spent the day yesterday with the founder and the CEO of Harlem Village Academies, Dr. Deborah Kenny. She joins us now. It's a remarkable story. I went in there. You took me to 5th graders first.
Right.
And these 5th graders, as they come in to your school, they can't add, they can't subtract, they can't multiply for the most part. It's a first grade level in math proficiency. And yet when they leave a couple of years later, this is unbelievable, 100% proficiency.
How do you do that?
How do you do it?
Well, first of all, I would say that if you had to answer it in one word, the word would be teachers. And everybody knows and understands this now. They didn't understand it 10 or 20 years ago, that teacher quality is the be-all, end-all answer.
Okay, well, how do you get the teachers? I walked room to room. There were young teachers. It was like a commercial for teaching. They were so excited.
Exactly.
How do you get great teachers at this school?
Yeah, so that's exactly the issue. We have to create a culture at the school that attracts people to it and keeps people excited and supports them. You create a culture in your school that supports great teaching, and it's also a culture of accountability. So people know that we're going to be looking not at what did I teach, but at what did the kids learn every day.
These kids are some of them come from some of the most economically disadvantaged families in New York and probably America, and yet again, at your school, 100% proficiency in math. This is a story that America needs to know about.
Yeah, well, that can be the case everywhere, and it should be. And I think we're excited because the president and the new Secretary of Education are setting the bar and saying it should be that way everywhere, and it can be.
You know, one thing that they're doing, first of all, Joel Klein is also really leading the effort, the New York Schools Chancellor, toward charter schools. But one way to do it is to approach teaching the way you approach a business, and that is accountability, monitoring the teachers, using technology toward that effort, and also being able to put your best players on the field. In business, that's what you do. You put the best people around you.
But you can't do that in too many schools.
Right, but you're doing it in charter schools.
At your school, if a teacher succeeds, you can reward them. If a teacher doesn't fit into this culture, well, they can move on, right? You have the power to move them out and bring somebody better in.
That's correct. You know, there's this culture of accountability. So there is absolutely reward.
Accountability for students and accountability for teachers. For everybody.
And for principals and for everyone, top to bottom. And so the culture of accountability actually attracts really smart, passionate, talented people who believe in themselves and who are excited about teaching. And
so explain more about how you do this and how behavior, because you get these kids, they are high risk, they have issues, and they have a long way to go academically, and you get them to the level to where you've gotten these incredible scores back. Does it start with just educating them, or how do you weave in dealing with the behavioral aspect of things?
Yeah, and I think that's an issue everywhere. I don't think it's just in Harlem. I think behavior is an issue across the country and across the socioeconomic spectrum. And so it's really about teaching kids character expectations from the very beginning. You know, it's not only behavior, which is a matter of habits, and as we talked about, looking at someone when they're speaking and being respectful, but it's also about character, you know, and we try to instill in the kids a passion for learning. We try to instill in them, it's not just about here are rules and you have to follow all the rules, but how will all of these habits help you in life?
And let me say, I've been in, because when I was in Congress, I went and spoke to I bet I've spoken hundreds of classrooms. The second I walked into this classroom, I knew it was different. Here we had 30 kids, 35 kids, 8th graders. Who I said as I went in, they are the worst, that's the worst a year. Middle schoolers are the hardest people to talk to. They're not paying attention. They're somewhere
else. Although you didn't have any trouble tackling one of them.
I tackled them all. This poor kid. He said he wanted to be a power forward. I said, baby, come take on the round of the rebound. So anyway, but as I was speaking to this class, all 30 eyes on me.
Right.
If one eye wandered, you stood up, and she'd have these techniques, and she'd go like this. And then that student would make eye contact. If their head slumped down, she'd go like this. They'd look up. They behaved better than any 8th grade class I've ever spoken to, and I've spoken to tons of 8th grade classes.
And there's a lot of this going on in the city. I told you my mom works at Harlem Academy. One of my best friends helped found the New York Harbor School. But what do you say to other schools who don't have a Deborah Kenny or struggling with public schools, struggling with financial problems? How do you do what you've done there at these other schools?
Well, it's interesting. You both were talking about New York City. I think New York has led the way. You know, we're incredibly lucky because we have a mayor who gets it, and we have a mayor who decided, I'm going to take a leadership role.
Is this Bloomberg and Klein? Are they the success stories
Mayor
here?
Bloomberg is a godsend for education. And exactly. And so...
And you're excited about Barack Obama, too, aren't you? That Barack Obama is saying all the right things. And his Secretary of Education, Arnie Duncan. These guys seem to get it, too, right?
Yeah, but Joe, this is a crisis. We have to get it. I mean, this is unbelievable.
Can you
that
imagine,
education is so weak in this country. This is a crisis.
Can you imagine if schools in Harlem and South Central L.A. and Gary, Indiana can start scoring 100% in math proficiencies? That won't just change the inner cities of America. That will change America.
That's right. That's exactly right. No, it's a moral outrage that we allow this to go on. And it's not like cancer where there's no cure. We know how to educate children. We know exactly what to do. We know that it works. We know that children of any socioeconomic level can be educated at the highest level. And I'm not talking just about passing a test. You know, people get all excited about 100% passing a test. I'm talking about passionate, engaging, high-quality instruction. And it can happen everywhere.
You know what? Special interest, and we've all said it around this table, need to get out of the way. It's got to be about helping these kids.
Absolutely.
And if we make children the priority like you guys have done at your school, instead of making education a jobs program, this can happen everywhere, can't it?
Right. Dr. Kenny, thank you so much for coming in.
Congratulations. We're going to all go out there.
Great work. I would love to.